I know that certainly any of the research that I did inside of that period, inside the Taliban during that period, indicated the Taliban were fully committed to achieving complete control over Afghanistan and had no intention of either power sharing or reforming their process. But again, to them, it goes, if you just look, if you want to, in this Trumpian era, judge by results, they were spectacularly effective and successful, that they pulled off the great lie. The sort of the nice Taliban that many people sat with in exercises in Japan or France or Germany or Norway, and ultimately in Doha, the nice Taliban like Shabuddin Dilawar and Sher Mohammad Abbas, Nikhat Stanakzai, people, and people like this, who seems, fairly sincere in their vision of their part in a plural Afghanistan. They had no authority to deliver on any of those things. And I think that in terms of the Taliban international relations now, that they're essentially involved in the same process, trying to have broad international relations. They're very good at putting out feelers within the region, the wider region, even into Western countries, delegations to China, Russia, see the Americans and the Europeans. They conduct a wider diplomacy. Of course, they try and assuage any concerns. I believe Zia's concerns are absolutely spot on. That the threat of extremism from Afghanistan is strong, growing. I would say, first of all, applies to the region and clearly has a wider threat as well. In other words, attacks conceived of in or inspired by Afghanistan playing out in countries of the West, that is there. But the immediate threat is to the region. And that, of course, is where you get this dilemma of the current, the regional element of the engagement. Any serious security actor in any of the Central Asian countries, in Iran, and in Pakistan, as they look at the Taliban, have to reach similar conclusions to what Zia Siraj just presented to us. That for Pakistan, it is not a theoretical threat; it is an immediate one, where every day you can get the body count of the Pakistan army with attacks which have been supported by Taliban Afghanistan. That from previous knowledge of the Taliban that Zia has himself given just now, ongoing research into attitudes inside the movement, including leadership and the ranks, suggests that it is that the intention eventually of supporting operations to threaten the states in Iran and Central Asia, that the intention is already there. Timing is a matter of how the leadership plays out its current level of opacity, its big lie strategy. They're concerned about consolidating. They expect to be fighting for many years in the future. I think they're not ready for a full-scale confrontation yet. They've been absolutely clear that they are a strategic actor. The Taliban have built on the public finance expertise of Gulaga in the insurgency to run effective post-takeover public finance, which means that they balance their budget without being dependent on budgetary support from any external actor, which means that as far as they're concerned, they are not subject to any external leverage at a time, well, in a sense, like Putin, they've insulated themselves from domestic opinion in Afghanistan. They don't have to listen to Afghan concerns, to hungry Afghan concerns, because they have put in place the ideological project to justify everything they're doing as running an Islamic State that no Muslim dare take a stand against, and they are running an effective authoritarian apparatus which aims to suppress any opposition. So coming down to then this issue of the the international engagement, the broader international community hardly engaged in Afghanistan, probably will only re-engage when when the threats that Zia has talked about present themselves more clearly. But inside the region, the threats are more immediate, and I think that the limited engagement that we've seen so far, it's not sustainable, and probably Pakistan will lead the way in tilting the regional consensus away from essentially playing along with the Taliban, and probably we will see attempts to apply more pressure on them. But the Taliban are several steps ahead. They, as far as they're concerned, they've insulated themselves from leverage or pressure. So let's see how it played out. But I mean, overall, everything that Zia has said, I agree with it, and I could provide multiple examples and explanations to say the threat is every bit as bad as Zia has described, both for the Afghan population and for the neighbours of Afghanistan.